trying to build a business while also still having that 9 to 5 job is very stressful. Like I'm doing it currently, and juggling your day job while chasing your entrepreneurial dreams, like it's challenging. Y luego, if you have like a family on top of that, it is like stressful. So like what can we do to help balance that out so that way you could still, provide for your family, but also build that business? Hola, welcome to the Money Chisme podcast. I am your host, Violeta, a first generation Mexican immigrant. I am a real estate investor and business owner. Pero let me tell you, just like other first gens, I was not taught much about personal finance. And I mean, needless to say, I was bien perdida. I was so lost and I struggled a lot in my personal finance journey. And that's why I created the Money Chisme podcast, where each week I bring you the chisme on how to manage and grow your money and other money talks to help you to kick ass with your finances. All right, so let's get into this week's Money Chisme. Hola, hola. Welcome back to another episode of the Money Chisme podcast. This week, I want to get into the struggle of trying to like start a business and trying to grow that business while also still having your 9 to 5 job. Like it is a big struggle. And this is something that I definitely have dealt with as I build my business, Money Chisme, and trying to grow this podcast, trying to, grow my blog and my social media. And I'm still active duty Navy. And let me tell you, that's been like rough. And even though right now, my current duty station where I work at right now, it's, 9 to 5 hours and they're pretty, relaxed, it's still a struggle to have like that day job and those responsibilities and then come home and try to find that energy and stuff to continue growing my business. So if you're thinking about starting a business on the side or currently trying to start one, like I get it, it's rough, but don't get it twisted, it's still very rewarding, and overall like it's going to benefit you in the long run. I mean, you are building something that will one day hopefully run itself and generate you income so you can build financial freedom and build wealth and maybe even leave a legacy for future generations. So, in this episode, I want to get into some tips and, just things I've learned throughout my time that I've been trying to grow this business. And, I'm still learning some of these things and making sure that I am consistent with these habits and following my own advice, right? Because, we love to give out advice, but a veces we don't even follow our own freaking advice. But I've been working on them and I've found that it has helped me have an easier and a more efficient time growing my business. And I want to share them with you of what my experience has been so far as well, now that I've been working on growing Money Chisme for I think about a year now, a little bit over a year. So, first up, before you even start your business, you want to make sure it is something that you are truly passionate about. Because, I mean, you're going to work long hours on this business. So, you want to spend that time on something that you truly care about, that are passionate about. Because, I know like eventually you're going to get to the point where like you don't work as many hours, but the reality is when you're growing a business, like it's you doing the work and everything. You're wearing a lot of hats, so you're going to put in some long hours. So you want to make sure that it's something that you care about, and it's going to help you, especially like right now that sometimes you have that long day at work, and or a stressful day, or you're kind of like a little bit burnt out. Like you want to have something that motivates you to actually create your content, or do the admin side of the business, or just working on your business, because that's really going to help you actually continue working on growing your business. Because if it's something that you're not passionate about, you're just gonna let it slide, because you're gonna, want to relax. You're gonna, have, want to do more family time. Like, you're just gonna let it slide, and eventually you're just gonna fall off the wagon. So, for example, with Money Chisme, I'm very passionate about teaching, real estate investing for sure. That's my really huge passion. But also, teaching, personal finance, teaching financial literacy, and just, like money management, and, teaching my community how to manage and grow their money. So, when I do have those long days at work, like, I'll take like a little break, obviously, when I get home to eat or whatever. But I'm more motivated to create stuff and work on my business because I'm passionate about it, and I know I'm doing something good for the community. Not only that, but you also want to start a business where your current skill sets that you have, it goes along with that business, because again, you are going to have limited time because you have a 9 to 5. You're working during the day, so in the evenings you're not going to have so much extra time to learn too many new skills. Not to say that you won't spend time learning new things, because I've definitely have spent a lot of time learning, but it's going to be even more difficult and take even longer time if, like, you have a huge, gap in that skills, like you have a huge learning curve to reach. Like, for example, like if you want to start like a woodworking business, but you never even held a saw, like that's a huge learning curve that, is going to prolong how fast your business grows and everything, because you are having to learn as you go and learn skills and stuff like that. Pero, and that might hold you back. But like if you're passionate about starting woodworking as a business, I mean, you can do it and everything like that. You could just work on, like building your skill sets, taking courses or whatever, wood shop classes, whatever it may be, and then start your business. I guess the thing I'm trying to say is that, don't, try to do it both at the same time, because it's just even harder when you're already limited with time because you have a day job. All right, so let's get into the tips to help you build a business with that 9 to 5. And the first tip that I have is learning time management. And I know this may sound easy or like a no brainer, but like, let me tell you, like, I thought that was the case, but I still found myself scrambling and trying to, fulfill deadlines for like launches, or, trying to fulfill deadlines for my podcast and setting time to make them and stuff like that. So, all these things would come up real quick. And then a veces, I would miss a week where I didn't upload a podcast because I wasn't as good as I thought with time management. And, I got humbled real quick. Y la verdad, like, to be transparent, like I'm still working on it as well, like I was saying. And, but one thing that I am finding that is starting to work for me is to schedule out all my tasks and to set priorities to them. I also even have started to use like statuses, and, I check on them daily. So, originally I was using like a to-do list. I like just writing it on paper and be like, I got to do this, this, and this. But, I wasn't really setting priorities. I wasn't putting deadlines of when I needed it done or whatever. And, so it was just still, it helped me track stuff, but it really wasn't helping me get stuff done in a timely manner. So right now I have started using Notion for this, and like I've been enjoying it, and I'm still working on it, on setting it up how I like, and how and as I work with it, I find other ways that would help me, do my workflow better and stuff like that. But it's still helping me. It's, helping me like do that priorities. It's helping me do like checking it off, setting due dates and all that stuff. And so I've been enjoying it. And, if you don't want to use like, applications like Notion or whatever, you could even create an Excel and you could do the same thing where you have like a column that says like due date and a column that says, the status and check marks and stuff like that. So you could get really fancy with it on Excel if you're like an Excel pro. But there's other, systems and software that can do this for you. I just use Notion because right now it's free and just for yourself, like for one person, it's free. So I use it because it's one less cost for my business. And, I'm trying to keep costs low right now as I grow. And then the second thing I started doing for like time management is setting specific blocks of time to work. And this way you ensure that you make consistent progress, but also not hyper fixate on them to where you find yourself working for long hours. Because, like, not gonna lie, that is me. I'm really bad with this. I hyper fixate on a task, and next thing you know, like it's close to bedtime, and my hub has to come down here and be like, hey, it's time to go to bed because it's like 12 a.m. And, like I just tend to like hyperfixate on it. And then next thing you know, it burns me out and it makes me tired. So, then it makes it harder for the next day to, get back and start working on the same task. So don't be like me. So you could use timers, and one that I started using was the Pomodoro Method, I guess. But basically, is you work for like 25 minutes or so, and then you take 5-minute breaks, and then it's just a cycle for up to like, I don't know, 3 hours or so. But the important thing is the time frames, because you could do like, hey, work for an hour, then take like a 10-minute break. There's one that I do that's that way, as well. And so it really depends, how, like, what I feel that day. If I want to do like 25-minute works or 30 minutes or an hour. But the point is to help break up your time and force you to take breaks. And, especially like with your eyes and you're working on the computer, like you want to give your eyes a break sometimes. And YouTube has a bunch of, Pomodoro style, videos with calming music or like just lo-fi. I'm really into like the lo-fi music right now when I'm working, especially when I have to think about stuff. And they have timers for several different time frames of work blocks. Like I was saying, there's one for 1 hour, and the video is like 5 hours, and then it'll give you like 10-minute breaks or 15 or whatever it may be. But yeah, YouTube is a great, free resource to find, timers with music. So I've been enjoying that, and it's been helping me as well. So my next tip is to leverage that 9 to 5 job. And, it could either help you develop more skills that you could practice. Like maybe you're not good at Excel, but, your job has that, like maybe some trainings or whatever it may be. And then you could just like work on those skills. And, just figuring out what your 9 to 5 has that could possibly, help you. It could even be just like customer service. It could even just be talking. Like, yeah, all those are also skills, and you might not think that it would benefit you with your business, but lots of these little things can. And so, for example, with mine, I mean, it's kind of like a no brainer for me because, with the military, we have trainings for everything. And, like, we have some courses and stuff like that that we have access to. And, matter of fact, one new one that the Navy's coming out with is coaching. And so I'm like trying to sign up for that as well so I could get, more trained up on coaching and, work on those skills. And, you just never know what might be available at your 9 to 5. So just keep an eye out on that. And, another thing is I know some of us, we might not like our coworkers or whatever, or not interact, but you don't know who knows who, right? Because, how that saying is that you're only like 7 people away from each other or something like that. So, someone in your 9 to 5 might know someone that either needs your service or can help you with your business in some way or form, or maybe just to network. Okay, so this next tip is going to be a little bit more difficult to actually implement because, we're if you're a first gen or someone that likes to, do things on your own, you might not be too keen of delegating and outsourcing tasks. And it's definitely difficult for us who have that pride of doing things ourselves, like, first generation, because we are so used to doing that. We're the trailblazers. We're the one that are like leading our families into new things and learning and doing all these things. We're learning personal finance, we're learning how to heal generational trauma, all that stuff. So when it comes to delegating, it's kind of hard because this is our business, right? This is our baby, and it's sometimes hard to let go to someone else to help you do things in your business, right? But the thing is, we have to learn how to delegate and outsource things, because our role in our business is to be the CEO and be focused on growing our business, not to be the worker in it, because otherwise you're just creating a job for yourself, not necessarily a business. So once you have like started setting up your business and you see that you're starting to like grow, or starting to get spread thin, especially with having a 9 to 5 job, this is even more important because it is nearly impossible to do all these things yourself. Like, when decided to start Money Chisme, I was like, oh, I could write a blog and, put out a few social media posts, whatever, and do the podcast, whatever. It didn't sound that hard, but like it's so much more that goes into it, of like thinking about like email marketing and the way you post on social media, like when and how or whatever, like showing up on social media. And like, I started getting so overwhelmed. So I'm finally having to admit to myself that, what, it is time to hire help. It could be a freelancer, virtual assistants, or maybe you could do interns, right? And really the goal is for them to handle all the smaller but still important things, day to day tasks, like, answering my emails, scheduling guests, invoicing, and, like helping me edit or whatever it may be, schedule my social media posts, whatever. So I just, signed up and hired someone from like Fiverr and to help me with my social media posts, because like I'm it's starting to get too much, and like I'm struggling to try to like do all the admin stuff and getting people on the podcast and all that stuff, and it's just so much that I'm finding myself spending so much time on these easy tasks that I could just pay somebody else to do for me, so I can just focus on putting out content that's I could educate people with, and that I could help, and help grow the my social media and my business. So with that, now that I have come to terms that, I need to hire someone, and I took the first step with my social media management. Now I could focus on trying to find like a virtual assistant. So right now I am working on like my procedures, writing down all my tasks and going like step by step, like, how do I reach out to people for my emails? How do I manage my emails? How do I do my email marketing? All that stuff. I'm writing down all that. So when I start looking for someone towards the end of the year, I could be able to train them on exactly how I like things to get done. And not to say that I won't be open to like feedback, because, hey, if they have better ideas to better get things done, like I'm all for it. But you do want to have your procedures and everything, written down, so it's easier to train somebody, and then that way you feel more comfortable to give those tasks to somebody else. But yeah, you have to learn how to delegate. The next tip is to automate, automate, automate. Like, we are in a great time where there are so many tools and software and stuff that can automate repetitive tasks. Like, back to my social media, like, there's things that you have, those social media scheduling apps or whatever. You have automatic email marketing where you could create like a workflow so you don't actually have to manually send emails. Like, you still create all the emails, but it automatically sends for you. And even bookkeeping, like, you could automate some of that stuff. Like, there's so much. And now with like AI, like Chat GPT and all the other ones, like, it's even easier. So like right now, having a business, I think it's we're in a great time because there's so many ways we can automate and easier ways, like I said, to delegate and stuff like that. So definitely look for ways and things that you can do to automate some of your tasks. So, for example, I pay the 10 extra bucks for an AI to automatically create chapters for my podcast. It creates the description, it creates the transcript, and even creates a blog post for each podcast episode. And it's awesome because then all I have to do is go back and edit the description and the blog to my voice, and how I like it to flow. So, like, more of how I speak and stuff like that. But the chunk of time that it would have taken me to do those things on my own, it's way less time. And it takes me maybe 30 minutes just to like skim through and change and edit what's already there and to be able to post that. And so it takes me so much less time. And and I get it, like, sometimes, $10 or here and $5 there, it might, be like, oh my God, I don't want to spend the money on these things because I can do it. I can write my own blog post, I can write my own podcast description. But like, really, like, how much is your free time worth? Like, would you rather spend that time writing your blog posts and stuff like that, or would you rather spend time, spending time with your family, relaxing outside, drinking a cup of coffee, or, just hanging out, watching your favorite show or whatever? Like, those $10 save me so much time to where I can enjoy sitting outside with chickens, spending time with my stepson or with my husband or whatever, or binging the show. Like, that's worth it to me to have that time back. And my last tip is to find a mentor, or, join a community of like-minded people who can, give you guidance and support. And, yeah, some may be paid and or some may be free, like if you join a Facebook group or you hire a coach or something like that. The point is that you want to have somebody to, like, guide you and or support you, or just, be there rooting you on and picking you up when you feel like, it's not going well. Because with like, the business is kind of, it is rough, like, especially with the 9 to 5. Like, it is rough. And luckily I had, if you don't know her, Wendy, Lovingly Bold, her mastermind, the group that I was in, like, man, we supported it, and I really needed that this whole year. And it has helped me, expand my mind and motivated me even more. And just having that support as I'm doing this, and has helped me a lot. And so I want you to make sure that you find some support group. There's some free ones out there, there's some paid ones, whatever you feel comfortable doing. And you don't even have to go in person, especially right now. A lot of people are like working from home and stuff like that. There's one that I'm kind of signed up for. It doesn't work with my schedule because, like, it's on Wednesdays at 11 and I'm at work, so I can't really participate in them. But sometimes when I telework, I try to go on the Zoom. And it's nice because you like are on the Zoom call and everybody's working on their own task and there's just music and it's just calm, and you work for like an hour and then another 30 minutes everybody can socialize. And it's just nice to work with other people that are also trying to grow their business and have that support. So make sure that you find that community, and so you're not doing this by yourself. Not to mention, being part of these communities or support groups or whatever, you find lots of great ideas. People find ways that helps them that they can share, or help bounce ideas. But like in one of these groups, the mastermind, that's where I found out about Notion and the Pomodoro technique of using YouTube and putting those timers with the music. And so like it's helpful. Like you never know what these groups can help. So balancing your 9 to 5 job and your business is definitely, like I was saying, it's challenging, it's rough, sometimes you want to pull your hair out, but it really is just having the right strategies and the tools, plus obviously your determination and motivation. And you can make it and be able to grow your business enough to finally leave that 9 to 5 and be able to go full time with your business. And that's the goal for all of us, right? And so hopefully some of these tips that I've picked up along the way um, are helpful to you and help you be more productive and growing your business and just having that work life balance better, with because now you have 2 jobs basically. And so let me know if you have any tips or tricks that have worked for you that I didn't mention about, that I could try to use, because like I said, I am open to suggestions. Anything that can help me, I will use for sure. And of course I'll come on and share it, maybe in an updated episode or just on my social media. Just But other than that, thank you for tuning in. Hasta la próxima. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate and share so others may find this podcast. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can email me at info.moneychisme@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow me on all my social medias that are listed below. Hasta la próxima. Bye.